Hello and welcome to class. Let's start at the end of our mat, feet hip distance apart, rolling those shoulders down and back. We're starting with the neck stretch today. So as you exhale, just take the head over to one side, keeping the shoulders down and away from the ears. Deep breaths here. Coming back into the center, we're swapping sides. Exhale, take the head over to the opposite side. And deep breaths. Returning to the center, we're going to go into a roll down stretch. So make sure we're relaxed behind the back of the knees. And as we exhale, we're rolling down one vertebrae at a time, nice and slow, taking the hands towards the mat. If you need to here, you can bend through the knees more to help you reach the floor. Otherwise, hanging wherever's comfortable for you. Bending through one knee as you exhale, just feeling an increase in the stretch down the opposite side. Returning to the center and then swapping to the other leg. Taking a few deep breaths here and then returning back to the center. Good. Keep looking in between the legs. Feel that nice stretch down the back of the body. And then we're going to walk our hands out in front and lower our knees down onto the mat. Good. Just swing those legs around. We're going to carefully lower ourselves down one vertebrae at a time onto the mat. And just relax the arms by your side. Knees are bent and feet are hip distance apart. We're going into a hamstring stretch now. So extending one leg up towards the ceiling, we're going to flex and point the top foot. So we flex and point just a few more times. Nice and gentle with this stretch as we're only warming up the body. And taking a few deep breaths now, keep the toe pointed. As you exhale, just drawing that leg a little bit closer towards you, increasing the stretch slightly. Good. And let's bend that top leg in towards the chest and slide the bottom leg out nice and long along your mat. Just going to take a few deep breaths here, and you should feel a nice stretch in that hip flexor as well as the hamstring. Okay, good. Let's swap to the other side. So starting off with our flex and points of that top foot. Keeping the top leg nice and straight as we can. Deep breaths as we stretch. Good. Now keeping the toe pointed as we exhale, drawing the leg closer towards the body. And then bending that top leg in towards the chest, sliding the bottom leg out nice and long. Taking a few deep breaths here, enjoying that nice stretch down the back of the leg and into the hip flexor. Good. We're going to relax the leg back down now and keeping both knees bent, feet hip distance apart. We're going to go over our basics before we get into the workout. So place the palm of your hands on your hip bones, fingertips pointing down towards your pubic bone. First, let's find our neutral spine. So that nice natural arch in the lower back, hands are parallel to the mat. From here, let's draw the belly button down and find our imprinted spine. So closing that gap under the lower back, and the fingertips lift just higher than the palms of the hands. Good. So these are our two positions that we work in Pilates. So you can just practice going from your neutral spine to your imprinted spine, just warming up the spine, moving from each position. And I'll let you know with each exercise what spinal position we need to be in. I'm just popping my arms up so that you can see as I shift from my neutral spine to my imprinted spine. And lastly, before we get into the workout, we're going to activate our T-zone. So now just placing the fingertips just inside the hip bones, we're going to visualize our T-zone in our mind. So the top of the T runs from hip bone to hip bone, representing the deep abdominals, and the bottom of the T from the pubic bone up to meet that line is the pelvic floor. So pressing firmly with our fingertips, as we take a deep breath in, we draw up along the vertical line. As we exhale, we imagine the hip bones sliding in towards the center and tightening under the fingertips. So as we inhale, we draw up, activating the pelvic floor. And as we exhale, we draw across, activating the deep abdominals. Aiming for a tightening under the fingertips. Good. Nice work, everyone. Relaxing your arms by your side, it's time to start warming up the abdominals. So we're going to warm up with an exercise called lift foot. So as we exhale, we're lifting one leg up into tabletop position. So tabletop position where the knee is directly above the hip and bent at a 90-degree angle. So we're exhaling to lift, and then we'll inhale to lower the foot back down onto the mat, and we're alternating sides. So as we exhale, we lift the foot up to tabletop, and as we inhale, we lower. And alternating legs. So nice and simple to warm up, focusing here on keeping a neutral spine. So the spine stays nice and still as the legs move from tabletop and back down onto the mat. Good. We're just going to do one last one here. And then we're adding on to this exercise. So very similar. The breathing does change slightly though. Now we are inhaling to lift to tabletop, exhaling to extend nice and long, inhaling to take the leg back to tabletop, and exhaling to place the foot on the floor. So it's an inhale lift and an exhale to extend, inhale to bring it back, and an exhale, foot on the floor. Inhale, lift, exhale, extend, inhale to bring it back, and exhale to lower. So very similar. As we extend the leg, we're focusing on keeping the spine in that neutral position. Hip bones pointing up towards the ceiling, T-zone nice and tight. Good. Let's do one more of these. Exhaling to extend nice and long. Bringing the leg back in and lowering down to the mat. Good. We're going to take the hands behind the head, elbows wide, and go into some ab curls now. So as we exhale, we're curling up, scooping through the abs, eyes looking towards the legs. With each curl up, thinking about the ribs sliding down towards the hips. Using our exhale breath to curl up as high as we can. So it's an exhale to lift and it's an inhale to lower back down. Doing really well. Just a few more here. Keep those elbows nice and wide, really making our abs do the work here. And let's do one last one, finish it off strong. And then we're going to relax the arms by our side and take the legs up to tabletop position. So now the legs are in tabletop, hip distance apart. We're imprinting the spine. As we exhale, we're tapping one toe at a time down to the mat. So the focus here is really on maintaining an imprinted spine, making sure the lower back doesn't arch as we tap the toes down towards the mat. If you want to make this one a little bit harder, you can tap the toes further away from the body. Otherwise, to make it easier, tap in nice and close to the body. Keeping the knees bent at 90 degrees, always returning back to that tabletop position. Exhaling to tap and inhaling to bring it back in. Good, doing really well. You should feel that your abs are really starting to warm up now and that you can feel them working to hold the belly button down and stop the lower back from arching. We've just got a few more here. Keep those arms relaxed and then lowering the legs back down. We're taking the hands back behind the head now, lifting back up to tabletop and squeezing the inner thighs together. We're ab curling with the legs in tabletop. So we exhale, curl, and we inhale, lower. Very similar to before, but now the legs are up in tabletop. So squeeze the inner thighs together. Focus on drawing the belly button down and using your exhale breath to curl up as high as you can each time. Good, doing really well. Keep those elbows wide. We've got 2 more here. Last one, finish off strong, and then relaxing the upper body down. Nice work. From here, we're taking the arms out to the side, palms facing up, and we're going into pendulum. So we inhale, take both legs over to one side, and we exhale back to the center. It's an inhale to lower, and it's an exhale back to the center. So we're working through the sides of the waist now into our oblique muscles. Really focus on that imprinted spine. And as one hip lifts up off the mat, try and keep both shoulders pressing down into the floor. Good. I know these ones are tough, so really use your breathing to help you. Inhaling in through the nose to lower and exhale out through the mouth to lift back to the center. We've just got a couple more here. Feeling that work into the sides of the waist. And then relaxing the legs back down. Well done, doing really well. Just a couple more ab exercises to go. Taking the legs to tabletop, squeezing the legs together and reaching up with the arms. We're curling up as we exhale and reaching past the hips now. Exhaling to curl up and inhaling to lower. Good. Eyes looking forward with each curl up. Really reach through the hands as far as you can past the hips. Just a couple more here. Keep squeezing those legs together, scooping through the abs. You've got this. Good. On the next one up, let's hold that ab curl and start beating with the arms. So we're pulsing up and down from the shoulders, keeping the arms nice and straight. Deep breaths. Just here for a little while longer. Holding for 3, 2, 1, and relaxing back down. Well done, guys. Hopefully you're feeling like your abs have worked now. We're going to finish off the abs part of this workout with a plank hold. So I'm just going to get my timer ready and we'll be holding this plank for 30 seconds. So I'll show you 2 ways of doing the plank. We're going to be holding on our elbows. So coming down onto the elbows, option 1 is up on the toes, keeping the body nice and long. Hips are low. Option 2 will be popping the knees down onto the mat. Exactly the same, just a little bit easier with the knees down on the mat. So pick your option. I'm going to start the timer. Coming down onto your elbows, we're holding here for 30 seconds. So keep the hips low in line with the body. Eyes are gazing towards the front of the mat so the head stays nice and long and in line. Squeezing through the T-zone. Deep breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth. You've got this. This is the last little bit of ab work. So keep holding strong. You can do it. Nearly there. and then relaxing the legs back down. Awesome work, guys. Well done. That's the abs section done for this workout. We're moving on to glutes now. So lying down on one side with the knees bent and the feet in line with the body. Resting down on the arm that's underneath you, we're going to pop the top hand on to the side of our hip. We're activating our glute before we start. So we're pressing into what is our glute med. So right at the side of your glute. As you exhale, just focus on squeezing through the glute as if you were going to lift the leg, but without actually lifting the leg. So we're going to just take a moment to exhale and squeeze. And now from here, placing the top hand down on the mat, we're going into clams. So we exhale, squeeze the top glute and open the knee, and we inhale, close the leg back down together. So really think about squeezing the ankles together as you open and squeezing that top glute as you open and close. So we really want to focus on that top glute working. Exhaling to open and inhaling to close. We've just got a couple more to go here. Exhale, open the knee, and inhale to close. Good, doing really well. You should feel that top glute start to warm up as we go along here. Good, and we're going to make it a little bit harder now, taking the feet up off the mat. Exactly the same thing here. Now we have the feet lifted. So really squeeze the feet together as you open. Exhale, open the knee, and inhale to close. Think about lifting up through the side of the waist here, keeping the T-zone nice and tight. So rather than sinking into the mat and letting the upper body relax, we want to keep the T-zone tight and the core working as well. Just a couple more here. Keep squeezing that top glute to open and close. Good, and relaxing the feet back down. From here, we're inhaling to open now. Exhaling to extend the leg. We inhale, bring it back to that open clam position, and we exhale to close. So it's an inhale, open. It's an exhale to extend, an inhale to bring it back, and an exhale to close. Good, to keep going with this one. As we extend the leg, we're focusing on taking that leg back in line with the hip and extending up at hip height if we can. Good, doing really well. I know that top glute's probably starting to burn now, so really use your breathing to help you. Deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth as you go. We also want to make sure that that kneecap is facing forward as we extend the leg and really stretching back behind the knee so it is straightening in one long line. On our next one out, we're going to hold the leg up at hip height and start to circle in one direction. So squeeze that top glute. We're circling from the hip. Really breathe through this and going the other way. Unwind just a little bit longer and relaxing that top leg down. Last one on this side, we're lifting the feet up, opening into our clam, flexing the feet, heels together. We pulse the knee up, up, up. Keep breathing, just a few more. I know this one's tough. Deep breaths and relaxing back down. Awesome work, guys. Give that top glute a bit of a massage, and we're going to swap and do that all again on the other side. So coming down onto our mat, making sure the body is in one long line, the knees are bent and the feet are in line with the hips. Starting off with our activation on this side. So placing your fingertips just on the side of the glute there. Exhale, squeeze as though you're going to lift the leg. And inhale, release. Just activating that muscle before we get started. Good. And we're placing the top hand down on the mat. Let's get into the clams on this side. So we exhale, squeeze the top glute and open the knee. And we inhale to close. Good. Opening the leg as far as you can without rocking the hips forward and back with this one. So we want to keep the hips stacked one on top of the other. Really control the movement here. Exhaling to squeeze and open. And inhaling to close. Let's take the feet up and make it a little bit harder now. So exactly the same with the feet up in the air. Squeezing that top glute to open. Good, doing really well. I know that sometimes it can feel a little bit harder on the second side. So deep breaths here. Exhaling to open and inhaling to close. Keep the T-zone tight at the front. We're aiming to keep the upper body as still as possible. We're going into our extensions now. So remembering with this one, the breathing changes slightly. We inhale, open, and we exhale, extend. Inhale, come back to the clam, and exhale, close. Inhale, open, and exhale, extend. Inhale, back to the clam, and exhale, close. T-zone tight at the front. Deep breaths here as I know it's starting to get harder. Making sure that we're extending that leg back in line with the body, kneecaps facing forward, pointing through the toes. Good, just a couple more. And we're holding that leg up on this next one, starting those circles. Small little circles from the hip, deep breaths, and let's unwind, circling the other way. Just a little bit longer, you can do it. And relaxing the leg back down. Lifting the feet up, opening to the clam, flex those feet, let's pulse. This is the last one on this side. Good, just a little bit longer, keep squeezing. And relaxing the legs back down, give that top glute a bit of a massage. Well done. Let's come up to sitting and just stretch out these glutes a little bit before we continue. So extending one leg out nice and long, we're going to open the opposite knee out to the side, lifting up nice and tall, and then exhale, reaching over the leg. Just taking a few deep breaths here. Feel that nice stretch into the glute. From here, we're taking the foot of the bent knee and placing it on top of the opposite side. Shifting forward, opening through the chest and taking this nice glute stretch here. This should feel really good after that work. Good, and we're going to relax that foot back down and swap to the other side. So reaching the arms up nice and tall, exhale, lowering over the leg, take that stretch. Deep breaths here, enjoy this stretch out for a moment. Good, and coming up, we're going to take the foot and place it on top of the opposite leg. Shifting in and opening through the chest. Deep breaths through this glute stretch. This should feel really nice after that work. Good, and we're going to relax back down from here. One last bit of the workout to go, and that is upper body. So coming to standing, let's take the arms out to the side. We're flipping the wrists forward and back. So keeping the shoulders down and back, arms directly out to the side. This is going to work through our forearms. And then from here, let's start circling in one direction. Keep the elbows nice and straight. And keep breathing naturally throughout this series. Good, and let's reverse the other way. Keeping the arms nice and strong. Should start to feel this work through our arms. Next, we're bringing the arms in towards us and out to the side. So let's inhale, bring it in, and exhale, take it out. Keeping the arms straight, shoulders down and back. Good. In towards the center and exhale, take it out. Good. Doing really well. From here, we're bending the elbows now. The exact same movement. Inhale, bring it in, and exhale, take it out. Aiming to keep the elbows up and bringing them as close together in front of you as you can. Everyone will be slightly different with this one as to how far they can bring their elbows together. Good, just a couple more. And we're holding the elbows together now as we pulse the arms up and down. Should feel that nice burn into the shoulders here. And let's take it out to the side and pulse. Keep the arms strong. Keep them straight. And last one here, we bring it in, up and down. Bring the arms in, up and down. Good, doing really well. And relaxing the arms. We're changing our positioning slightly now. So feet hip distance apart, knees bent, and hinging forward at the hips slightly. Arms by our side. We exhale, take the arms overhead, and inhale, take them behind. Exhale forward and inhale back. Really think about squeezing in between the shoulders as you take the arms behind you. Keep the T-zone tight here, the head in line with the body and the eyes gazing to the front of the mat. Just a couple more. Good, and we're going to hold our arms behind us and bend through the elbows. We exhale, extend now, and inhale, bring it in. So keep the elbows close to the body. This exercise focuses on our triceps. So as we exhale and extend, really think about squeezing through the back of the arms. Doing really well. And we're going to hold the arms up and pulse, pulsing up, really squeezing through the back of the arms. Good. And relaxing back down. Last one here, we exhale, open, inhale, close. Exhale to open and inhale to close. Again, really thinking about squeezing in between the shoulders as you open your arms out to the side. Keep the T-zone tight. Deep breaths. And we're going to hold our arms up and pulse. Pulsing up, up, and up. Deep breaths. Keep squeezing. Nice and strong with these arms. Good, and relaxing. Nice work. We're going to come to the end of our mat now and go down into a roll down stretch. So feet hip distance apart, taking the hands towards the mat. When you reach the floor, just walking out into our plank position, wrists right under the shoulders. We're holding here. Deep breaths, nice and strong. and then walking back to our stretch. Rolling back up to standing, and let's go again. Coming down, hands onto the mat, walk it out. Let's hold the plank for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's walk it back and rolling up. One more time, rolling down, walking out. Let's hold for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And walking it back, rolling up, back to standing. Good. Coming to the center of the mat. Let's roll down one vertebrae at a time. We're going to hold the stretch now. We've come to the end of the workout. So let's just stretch it out, bending through one knee and the other side. Feeling that nice stretch down the back of the legs and into the back of the body. Coming back to the center. Let's roll back up to standing, nice and slow, one vertebrae at a time. And standing up nice and tall, shoulders down and back. We're going to finish off today's workout with a neck stretch. Exhale, taking the head over to one side and using that arm to increase the stretch by extending it away from the body. And swapping sides. Exhale, take the head over and reaching out with the arm. And coming back to the center. Well done, guys. Awesome work today.